What's up, my beautiful Dreamfasters? It is Danny Gallows, of course, who'd you think it was, and welcome back to my 5 favorite anime series. So, it's really overcast today outside, starting to rain, starting to get dark and gloomy, a little bit depressing, one might say. So it's a perfect day to talk about it is the most personal anime, to me anyway, Welcome to the NHK. Now, I saw Welcome to the NHK for the very first time back in 2015, 2016, somewhere around there, and I believe it was on Netflix, and I remember just kind of randomly seeing it and reading the description and being like, oh, that looks like a really interesting show to watch, let me watch it. And it turned out to be one of the best animes that I've ever seen in my life. You know, this show is something that a lot of people would turn off halfway through the first episode. I mean, seriously, like, there's a lot of weird stuff happening, definitely in that first episode, especially in the first episode, and a lot of people would just kind of turn it off immediately and be like, no, I'm going to move on to the next show. But if people just gave this show a chance, they would get to experience one of the greatest slice-of-life animes ever created. So for all of you guys out there who don't know what Welcome to the NHK is, and I'm sure there's a lot of you out there because I know tons of people still don't know about this show, the basic plot of the show is it's about this guy named Sato who is a college dropout, and he has been for about 4 years now, and he has become a NEET, or what the Japanese call a hikikomori, which means a person that, you know, they're not in school, they're not employed, they have no friends, they have no kind of existence, no life whatsoever, and they just stay inside all the time. And he only goes out to the 7-Eleven to get food, and then he immediately comes back home, and he literally spends all of his time inside, until one day, randomly, this girl shows up at his door and kind of forces him into this program to see if she can find a cure for his condition. And the whole show is about their developing relationship as she's trying to draw him back out into the world and all this crazy stuff that happens as they're developing this relationship. And what ensues for him at that point is a brand new series of crazy life adventures. He reconnects with an old friend from school who turns out to be his neighbor, and then he convinces him to start making hentai games because he's designing a hentai game, and that's what they do over the entire course of the anime. And then an old flame of his shows up and they start developing a relationship, which leads into him joining a suicide cult, and then that leads into, you know, an addiction to online gaming, and that leads into a pyramid scheme, and just chaos ensues. But it's not, you know, chaos that's absurd like anime usually does. It's a slice of life, real life anime. So the chaos that ensues are activities and events that could take place in real life, but there's an order to the chaos, just like real life. But it's just so insane. And what it is this is his plunge back into the world because he's been away from the world for so long. This is his plunge back into the ocean in front of him that is life again, and it is just insane. It just gets crazy, but it is great. It's so wonderful to see because it's so perfectly executed as a slice of life anime because it's so real and it's so true, right? They're not trying to hide anything. It's a very honest and open anime about this character, and that's why I love it so much. I really found myself connecting with the character Sato, the main character, because, you know, I've been through that situation a lot in my life. I've been in that spot. I've been in that place a lot in my life. You know, no job, no friends, no existence really. So when I started watching this anime, I was just like, oh my god, that's me. Like, that was me at this point in my life. That was me at that point in my life. That's what I was doing, you know, when I was that age. And I found myself connecting with the character. And as Sato was going through all these life experiences, you find yourself, you know, almost like you're watching a cliffhanger anime, where you have to see the next episode, you have to see what happens next, because even though it's a slice of life anime, they always leave you on this little cliffhanger. At the end of every episode, there's a little cliffhanger, and you're like, oh my god, you know, what's Sato gonna do next? And I saw myself reflecting in him. Every time I was watching the show, I could connect with everything that he was going through. And any anime that can make me feel like that obviously is going to be one of my favorites because, it's all about, how you associate yourself and your feelings, your beliefs, where you are in life to a character. It's all about that connection. And it's a very special thing that anime can do is create characters that you can connect with. And that can help a lot of people through dark times, which is just amazing. Another one of my favorite aspects of the show is the humor. I mean, this is by far one of the funniest anime that I've ever seen in my life. And I've watched a lot of anime in my life. This is one of the funniest. What I love so much about it is that they're just able to draw so much natural humor out of these natural, organic situations, even though they may be bizarre. They're able to draw humor out of those situations. It's not forced comedy. It's not that kind of comedy that you normally see in anime where it's like, oh my god, look at me laugh, this is so funny, right? This is so funny. They're trying to push the humor in your face. This anime has natural humor. It has organic humor. It takes these real situations that people go through in life and it draws the comedy out of it. However, for as much humor as it also has an equal amount of darkness. I mean, especially towards the end of the show, but really throughout the entire show itself, it has an equal balance of really, really serious issues. It touches on a lot of serious things. Sato is an alcoholic. He's a chain smoker. He does drugs a lot. It's not featured in the show, but it's featured in the book. He hallucinates. His appliances talk to him. They start dealing with mental health issues and finding love again, and your reemergence into the world, which can be a very, very troubling thing, a very depressing thing. And so they deal with all those issues so wonderfully throughout the show. And the anime also has one of the most powerful endings that I've ever seen too. So, for all those reasons, this will always be one of my personal favorite animes because it was so, impacting on my life. And because of the issues that it deals with and the way in which it is executed, the way that it deals with those issues, this is one of the greatest animes ever made, period. Because of how the show is structured and how it's balanced and everything that it deals with until it gets to that powerful ending, right? And it's one of the reasons why I watch this anime, twice a year. I watch it definitely once a year, every year, sometimes twice a year, just to revisit some of my favorite episodes because it's so perfectly done. And guys, I really recommend that you check this out. I mean, it's just so amazing. And cool side note, if you guys didn't know, this anime was actually based on a novel of the same name, which came out first, and this was released by Tokyo Pop back in the early 2000s, I think. This is kind of a rare book now. I'm really thankful that I have it, and really grateful that I have this on my shelf. And the anime does a pretty good job following the book, but if you guys do want to read instead of watch it, the book goes into a lot more detail. It goes into his drug use and his addictions, and his mentality about life is really, really expanded and fleshed out here in the book. And this is just an amazing book. This is another book that I read. I revisit this every year just to read a couple of my favorite chapters, for writing inspiration and stuff like that. But this is an amazing book too, so definitely pick this up and watch the anime. Alright my friends, well that's enough blathering from me for right now, but now comes the best part of the video where I turn it over to all of you. So go ahead and leave all of your thoughts and opinions down below in the great white void. Have you guys seen Welcome to the NHK? Is it one of your favorite animes? Is it one of the worst animes that you've ever seen? Are you guys planning on watching it? What? Leave all your comments down below. I love reading through all your comments. I love discussing anime with you guys, so go ahead and do that. And as always, until next we meet, take care, and I'll see you guys back here for the next video very soon. I gotta go anyway. My computer needs me, talking to me again. Yeah, I know. Oh, there goes my refrigerator. Shut up! Yeah! Milk! Alright! There goes my air conditioner. Alright. Okay, yeah, I gotcha. Puddin', 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 puddin'. Whoa! Oh!